You must remember one thing. I didn't grow this so that it could become a business. I grew it so that I could sustain myself and my family.
A business idea that came by chance. Umgibe Farming, Organic and Training Institute is a small-scale farm based in a township just outside Durban called Chesterville. Its owner, Nonhlanhla Joye, started growing organic vegetables in 2014, using the small space outside her home to provide for her immediate family. At the time, she was out of work and had recently been diagnosed with cancer. She says as a breadwinner, she needed to put food on the table as well as nourish her body. Joya started growing her crops from the soil on the ground, but that soon changed after she woke up one morning to find that her crops had been eaten by her neighbors' chickens.
Not wanting to fight with the neighbors, I decided to create a system that was going to make it possible to grow my vegetables without the chickens eating them, and to save myself from, having the same experience. And I took some few planks, put them together, and I took a rope and took some plastic bags, put some soil and compost, and I grew vegetables. They sagged. Before long, this structure that I had built was coming together, because each time I put soil, it was getting heavier and it was coming together, and the rope was not able to hold it. It was not straight enough. So I had to go back to the drawing board.
Her frustration led to this unique planting system.
I call it a frugal, climate-smart growing system. The reason I say that is because if you can be able to conquer drought, because with this, you are able to only water your plants twice a week instead of on a daily basis. So having this as a growing system enabled us to go and get soil from outside and be able to put it in here. And thereby growing organic, we go and collect virgin organic soil in order to be able to do this.
Joya's efforts to sustain herself and her family soon turned into a lucrative business. She says she grew more vegetables than she needed and started selling to her neighbors. Until one day, a local restaurant came knocking at her door and placed an order of just over 13,000 rand. With more orders coming her way, it meant she would need more space to grow her crops. She found this piece of land which was used as a dumping site so she could honor the orders for more of her organic vegetables. Using her planting system, she was able to overcome the challenge of not having access to arable land.
While I'm growing this beetroot, you know that tomorrow I can take this beetroot, put it underneath this, and continue putting more bags so that I'm able to double the crop, or do spinach, or do a cabbage or something. Whereas when you are growing on the ground, you have to wait until you've harvested almost everything. With this, you can continually put stuff on the ground, and even on the concrete floor, you can continue doing that.
She explained that the planting system was a solution to many challenges faced by emerging and small-scale farmers. A research paper by the Competition Commission on Barriers to Entry and Expansion for Emerging Farmers identified access to finance, land, fertilizers, water rights, among others, as major barriers to entry and expansion in the agricultural sector.
I started this with 400 rand in my pocket, between me and poverty. And it worked. it got me to where I was able to make 13,500 in my own yard. So that should tell you something, that if I can be able to do that, and if 100 houses can have the similar system, growing different vegetables, everyone would be food secure. And if thousands and thousands of people can be able to use that and not look at funding, because sometimes I think this funding thing is almost a myth. Because as much as I think government should do something about us not having enough resources to fund our ventures, it would be an amazing thing if everyone that is looking for funding today could look for it and get it. It will be just a miracle, if anything. So if you are a small-scale farmer out there and you want to be funded, funding is help, whether it is a loan or it is what you call a grant. It is help. Start doing something. Show them what you are capable of doing with a small little plot that you have.
Joye urges South Africans, particularly those in the rural areas, to use the small land they have access to start growing vegetables. This as Umgibe works with over 90 cooperatives to supply its clients. She has also urged South Africans to try other alternatives to government funding, such as crowdfunding. Mbalenhle Mthethwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.